Ladies and gentlemen, Hex community of all ages, hey, Jake Freedom here, coming to you live from YouTube for this week's Hex Update Saturday for, what would it be, July 5th. See, the reason I'm confused there is because today's actually Sunday. Given the Independence holiday weekend, I was unable to do the video yesterday, and I couldn't do it before. Things didn't work out, so we're doing it today, Sunday, so my apologies for the one-day delay, but outside of that, no big deal. Here's the video for Hex Update Saturday. Not a whole lot changed. We had a patch. We had a little bit talk about some mercenaries from Kevin Jordan. We'll go over that. But first, we'll just talk about the patch notes that came out on July 2nd. Patch 0.9.2.008. Basically, just a quality of life patch, more or less. They did some things with the auction house. The auction house now correctly allows paging through all the results returned from a search, not just returning the 15, which was an error. Auctions now sort alphabetically and then from lowest to highest value. It should no longer incorrectly look as if you bid more than you actually did in some instances. I've not actually bid on anything yet, so I didn't, wasn't aware of that, but that's probably a good thing. I probably would have been a little nervous there. I probably would have went to the forums and say, hey, what's going on here? Some general things they did. You can now save decks with no cards in them. I thought you could do that before, but maybe not. And then we have open scheduled tournaments again for testing. So if you're unfamiliar with the open tournaments, or the open scheduled tournaments, those are those really large tournaments. I believe that's what they're talking about here, where you have 128 players sign up there, and these tournaments are constructed and sealed, I believe, and they kick off every 2 hours. So basically every 4 hours the same tournament of a constructed or a sealed starts, and these seem to be going pretty well. I've seen a few things through chat and on the forums that people are having some issues, so I'm guessing they're getting that all narrowed down. So they didn't do a whole lot of touching of them in this particular patch here, so hopefully that's all getting all worked out. Some gameplay things that they fixed. Flock of Seagulls text is back. That's probably a good thing. Drew's Colossal Walker and Fist of Brigadon now correctly have their "this troop attacks each turn if able" game text back. It's kind of funny. What actually happens to make the actual text disappear? Were they working on that card? Were they doing something to it to make this happen? Is there some type of underlying programming mechanic that actually displays the text that gets broken? Is it it's just kind of weird on how like some card text will get disappeared and some won't. So interesting how that even happens, but oh well, no big deal. Menacing Grolk now correctly prevents opposing troops from readying. Sliver of the Immortal Spear can now correctly use its 5,000 damage to target player power. Induction Coil now correctly uses its power again. Cosmic Transmogrifier now works correctly with cost reduction. The only known issue this patch here is filtering by category does not currently work in the My Bids tab in the auction house. Very small, simple patch. Like I said, it's mostly a quality of life patch. Nothing too big there. So, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Back up. All right, Mercenaries for Hire. This is a very interesting read. It doesn't take too long to read it, but basically what it is Kevin Jordan here. He's the lead system designer for Hex. He wanted to talk about a little bit about the process of how they actually come up with mercenaries, how they actually fit into the PvE side of the game, how they work, how they will work, how you can get them. They give you a little bit of a perspective, or not a perspective, a view of some of the mercenaries, like Nubibo. He's a mercenary. His charge power is it's a basic action, 2 costs, create 2 random robot parts, choose one and put it into your hand. He has a passive skill. Let me just bring up the screen here. Maybe we can do that. Help you out a little bit. Give me 1 second here. Add a screen region right here. All right. We don't want him there, we want him there. That's not what we wanted either. There. Alright. Perfect. All right. Newbie Bow. Mercenary. He's like says, charge power. Create 2 random robot parts. Choose one and put it into your hand. I don't know what the random robot parts are. What can they be? Obviously, it's going to be a card of some sort. And it's passive at the start of your turn. Put a repair counter on a random artifact in your graveyard. Then, if it has repair counters greater than or equal to its cost, remove them and put it into your hand, and it gets permanent cost +1. Kind of neat. Now, some of you may be asking, well, what are mercenaries for? And they actually answer some of those questions here. They're like, okay, do you play mercenaries alongside your champions? Can mercenaries do things that champions can't do? Are some stronger than the other? Are they the same power? And then like, why would I play a mercenary if the champion's the exact same way? So on and so forth. Basically, they break it down. They talk about what you can actually use a mercenary for. Mercenaries are for hire, basically, and you can hire them. And once you have them, once you actually hire a mercenary, he does a job for you, and then he actually becomes bound and locked to your account, so you can't sell him on the auction house or trade or anything like that. Become account bound as soon as you actually use them. The best way I can say it here is like what they put down, what CZ actually said here was when you're in a dungeon, and when you go into a dungeon, you have to select the dungeon, you have to select the champion, you have to select your deck. You cannot change it after you select that. You have to beat that dungeon with the deck you select. There's no changing. So what if you come to a boss that you just can't beat with the current deck that you have? Well, what you do is you hire a mercenary. He has his own deck. He has his own powers, all that stuff like that. So you tailor a deck around a mercenary, just like you kind of do a champion. And then he comes in, you sub him in, and then he can fight for you, or you'll use that deck and with that mercenary to try and kill the boss in that particular dungeon there. So it's kind of like a sideboard, having a second deck in hand, things like that. And they also go in here and talk about there's some dungeons that might be small that don't allow mercenaries. There are going to be some dungeons that could be very large that will allow more than one mercenary that you can have. So it's really cool how they actually go through the process of creating these mercenaries and what their purpose was actually going to be. Another mercenary they come out here was I don't even know how to say her name. Asha Shosh? I don't know. Anyway, Windborn Acolyte. Available through the Wheels of Fate. Her charge powers create a Windborn Acolyte and put it into play. And her passive is when 3 or more troops you control with flight attack, draw a card. Pretty cool. This guy here, Broski Buck. Available through Gen Con 2014 events. Not sure what that means, the events. So we'll see how we can possibly get him. His charge power, create a random card from among the threshold you have and put them into your hand. Create a random card from among the threshold you have and put in your hand. That's pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool there. His passive is when you play a card, if you've played 20 or more non-resource cards with different names this game, you win the game. Interesting. That's kind of neat. That could be that sounds like it could work on paper. It may not work though. If you've played 20 or more non-resource cards with different names, that's kind of like that card that you can have in your deck if you have 20 or more different cards. So I don't know if that'll work. It might. I don't know. But anyway, those are the mercenaries in a nutshell, and I'll go ahead and link this particular article here down in the description so you can take a look at it yourself if you haven't already. It's a very decent read. It's a good read. It's a lot of information there. I did like it a lot. So, and then you learn a little more about mercenaries. Other than that, not a whole heck of a lot's going. The Friday update happened before the July. They're just HEX was or CZU was just saying, hey, you're not going to be in the office, but we're still going to give you the game, things like that. So they're working on their tutorial, I guess, and that's coming along really well. Let's see here. They said we also introduced large Swiss tournaments for testing. Look, we just said that in the patch notes there, so that's nothing new. And then they're working on their actual tutorial to learn how to play the game for new people coming in that don't really know how the resource system works along with the threshold. So that'd be a pretty cool tutorial to check that out. Other than that, I got nothing else for you guys. That is this week's update. So if you liked the video, go and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more HEX update Saturdays, in this case Sunday, go and click the subscribe button down below, and we'll have another video for you soon.